Now, do we even spin the wheel again? I mean, Desmond Mason's in here. What if our big wheel, we spin it again, and Desmond Mason gets OU coaching staff is the big story of the day? That would not be good, right? Well, he could probably wax on that. He can wax on anything, really. But Desmond Mason's in studio with us. What? You're already giving me like this smile, this little smirk.
Dad, you want to spin the wheel?
Yep. Go ahead.
Spin the wheel.
You spin it. Go ahead.
Come on, no whammies. No whammies, most importantly.
It's either OU coaching staff or Thunder Talk. This isn't looking good for you, Des.
Oh, come on, man.
Maybe you get that last click.
Oh, you got it. All right.
That's what I'm talking
Thunder.
about.
There you go.
You knew it was going to happen.
Thunder. I think his hand went up on that wheel there, and he stopped it at the very last second. Desmond Mason with us in studio. All right. I've got so many things to talk to you about. It's been since Christmas. Did you have a Merry Christmas?
We had a great Christmas. The kids had a good Christmas.
Did you get another? Did Santa bring another puppy?
No, Santa did not bring another puppy, and I'm glad. He brought a lot of paper towels to clean up the last puppy.
That's good.
Like, oh yeah, I forgot to drop these off.
And then look at you, went to Mexico again. That's your home away from home.
It is, yeah.
And he's look, I'm gonna brag on him a little bit. I don't know if Todd, he sent me this text a couple days ago, and I think it said something like, "Just chilling with my homie." Something like that.
Just chilling with my homie. What is it, 1984?
No. Well, I don't know.
I don't think he said chilling with my homie.
He said something like that.
Yeah,
I heard there was homie in there, and there may have been a chill. I don't know. But then attached to the text, it was a picture of him just hanging out with Adam Levine. No big deal.
It was intentional. It wasn't a brag. I'm not that type of guy.
Oh, come on now.
It wasn't a brag. No way.
It was cool.
Anybody knows, but it was intentional to you.
I know it wasn't. Should I not have said that? No, it was cool.
I want to ask Desmond because I've told this story before. I one time ran into Desmond at a Best Buy when I was covering when you were with the Hornets back then. And I ran into you at a Best Buy around Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
You were buying gifts.
You're buying like a box set for Rashard Lewis.
Yeah.
Buying gifts for him and his wife.
Yeah.
Do you still exchange gifts with anyone you played with?
No, I mean, because there's not a lot of guys around like that. Rashard, he's now back in Houston, and a lot of that, it was when you were really close, and especially fresh out of the league or still in the back end of your career, you're still around those guys quite often. But once you move on with your families and they're traveling during the holidays and so on and so forth, it's just kind of hard to make
You still keep in touch with those
but
guys,
I do, absolutely,
right?
yes, yeah.
And didn't you say your wife and his wife were really tight?
Yeah.
Is that
they
right?
were cool, yeah, especially back in Seattle. For sure, yeah.
Desmond Mason with us. All right, so let's do the basketball stuff. I want to get into all the other stuff with you. You know we like to have fun with you. Oh, and I think we're going to do a top 4 list with you today. We haven't revealed the category to you yet, but I think we're going to do a top 4 list a little bit later
Top 4
on.
Steph Curry highlight plays from last night.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
There's not enough.
The first 2? Like that one?
This one was,
sorry, we're watching ESPN right now.
Yeah, one of them was great all the way up until
oh, my gosh.
That was pretty wild. All the way up until Steven Adams blocked it and went coast to coast. Did you see that? Doing his best KD impression.
Oh, my goodness.
But anyway, the trade. Let's start with the trade. Yeah. Deion Waiters to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City gives up, in a 3-way trade, gives up a protected first-rounder, which will probably be this year's first-rounder should they make the playoffs, and Lance Thomas. So your thoughts on that are what? The first thing that comes to mind when you hear that trade is?
I can see why they did it. I mean, they didn't have to give up too much to make the trade happen. I think everybody speculated Reggie Jackson, and I was one of those people that was speculating Reggie Jackson probably moving on as well. And it still could potentially happen. But, you bring in another shooter, a guy that can put the ball on the floor, is going to be aggressive on offense. As we were talking about in the break, you can bring these guys in, but they're not going to get the shots they got on another team. So when you look at their numbers, they can be quite skewed, especially when you got Kevin and Russell on the floor, and it happened to Kevin Martin. It could potentially happen here, happen tomorrow when those guys got back on the floor. So, it's good to have that kind of shooter out there on the perimeter and have an extra body, but, don't expect them to come out and average 13, 14, 15 a game.
Whose minutes do you see him taking? Like, I don't know how. It seems like this is what surprises me about this move. It's one of the few things that surprises me is that the wing spot seems very loaded now, and not necessarily loaded in terms of wow, this is unbelievable talent, but just loaded in terms of numbers. Like what? So how do you think it gets divvied? Where does Waiters fall?
Well, I mean, if you look at last night's game, you can see why you might want to have nice statement of players when Golden State decide they're going to put, you know,
they're going to go 4 guards.
Green at the 5,
right?
Who's basically playing like you have some guys that can guard and shit up and down the floor. So I can see that. I think everybody's to get smaller. I mean, if you're going to be Golden State, you're going to have to get small. But, you know, if you're going to be big. So, you know, position themselves for the back end of the season and the run for the championship.
The NBA, like it, and with the last year, Atlanta's playing really Spurs-type ball in the East, and they're number 1 in the East. And you take advantage of something, though, or is that big?
Guys, you got 6'11", 2s and 3s, and, you know, you look at Kevin, and he's a 2-3. When you look around the league, and all, you know, he was one of the first guys, at least, you know, the 7-footer shooter to be a perimeter guy. Obviously, Tim Duncan, you know, he was always the big bank shot, jump shot shooter. But
Serge Ibaka.
Serge is not. Serge Nick Collison.
Serge next year will be shooting half-court shots.
I mean, all of them. They all perimeter. That's all.
He keeps moving out further and further.
He's standing next to J.R.
Serge
Smith.
from 30. That is going to be how it is. Desmond,
if they had that 4-point line, Serge would be moving back.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
They ever put that in.
No doubt.
Desmond Mason with us. Well, we were talking before we came on that you know, about all the different parts of this trade. J.R. Smith is going to Cleveland now, which that's gonna kind of be wild, right? What do you? How do you see that going down?
I'm gonna say he's gonna get like he should get an Ohio tattoo. I think everywhere he goes, he gets like a tattoo of that state. That's what I wish.
Does he really?
No, I'm just making that up.
He should.
He's tattooed to the neck.
That's
so
right.
There's no more room unless he hits his face up. But I don't
you
know.
played with J.R. though.
I did,
Give us a good J.R. Smith story. Surely you got one.
Let me see. What's a really good one? Well, I just remember when he got in the doghouse with Byron Scott.
I remember that too.
Everybody's like,
practices.
what's going on? Like, why is JR not playing? And Byron Scott, literally, because Byron Scott just standing there with his arms crossed during the game, would just not look at JR. And JR knew he wasn't going in the game from the warm-ups. This is a guy that was starting, you know, one of the best young guys in the game, and him and Byron got into it, and Byron Scott's a black belt, and they got into a little bit, not a fight, but a little bit of a heated debate in practice. And Byron buried him on the bench for like 9 straight games.
Yes.
I mean, just never even looked at him. So, and JR he could care less. He was warming up, dancing, doing the Dougie.
I remember that. I remember that. He tried to act like it was no big deal.
Yeah, he was miserable. He was miserable.
I went to practice one day, and JR after practice, you know, is throwing oops to himself and half-court shots, and everybody's working on jumpers and post moves, and
That's exactly
he's chucking half-court shots. And I happened to walk by him, and he said, "You think you make a half-court shot?" And I said, "Well, you give me 5 or 6 tries, I bet I can make one." He goes, $1,000?
Yeah.
I just laughed, and he goes, "What, 500?" Like, I'm gonna bet you that I can make a half-court shot quicker than you.
Yeah, that happened quite often, and not just him, but yeah, throughout the game, everybody bets, man.
I think I could do 5.
But it was funny though. He was too young and probably just didn't understand that.
Yeah.
$1,000 is a little rich for me at the time.
He gives me 6 chances. I'll go for 500.
I'm telling you, you missed.
Well,
those
no, but
first
the
two. It's
deal
kinda
was-
I know.
The deal was,
the lemon
though,
booty.
I was gonna shoot first, and then he shot after me, and we'd alternate, and the first one to make it won the money.
Oh,
So I could miss the first one, he could make the first one, and I'm done.
I wouldn't bet JR.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I
I'd
don't
seen the
think
guy make 3 out of 10 or
no.
something.
I mean, if we're getting him involved, I don't want to do
Yeah,
it. But
no way.
if it's just me, look at me getting above my britches for sure. But that is good. Actually, that reminds. Let's do story time real quick.
Story time.
Give me a good wagering with a fellow teammate story.
I didn't bet. Well, you know, I used to
come
bet. I should have bet that I did make. I used to bet Tony Kukoc this, and I won about half of them, and I lost about half of them. But I got to the Hornets, and I bet Byron Scott, and I won more than I lost. I'll bet if they gave me 3 shots that I can make it from the other end, from the free throw line on the other end, long ways.
So about 70 feet.
Yeah, 3 shots.
3 shots.
3 shots, and I made it pretty often.
Really?
Yeah, I made it pretty often. Tony Kukoc, we used to bet $100, and I've seen Tony bet much more money. He's like, "You just giving me money," you know that Croatian accent. "You just giving me your money," and so that was a horrible Croatian accent. but you know we would bet, and we would bet almost after every practice. But me and Byron Scott, we bet a few times, and we bet $500, and I made it quite often. I can still make it.
Damn, 70. 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3, yeah. All I gotta do is make one.
All right, most money ever on a wager. How much?
Oh man,
One
I
wager.
watched about one wager. Well,
One wager.
I've seen 25,000.
Were you a part of it?
No.
Biggest one you've been a part of.
Oh, like $1,000.
That's it?
Yeah, I don't gamble.
Come on
I
now.
don't gamble. I don't like to gamble. Why would I do that?
25,000. Give me that story.
Well, it was like card game.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, but it was about
It's like on a plane,
125,000
probably?
exchange hands in the course of like 2 hours on a plane ride.
What's the game?
Cash.
What do you know? Do you know what game it is?
Boo-ray.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Boo-ray.
Yeah.
Love Boo-ray.
That's a lot.
Boo-ray can get wild, man.
Yeah, it got
I've never
wild.
played Boo-ray.
Oh, we're talking double and triple pots.
You know what?
you're-
I don't even own a Boo-ray player. I still play my DVDs from the Xbox.
No. Boo-ray is a card
Oh,
game. Boo-ray is
Gotcha.
a card game.
I thought you were talking about the Boo-ray discs.
Desmond Mason with us on
Better
107
graphics on those.
107.7 The Franchise. The other thing we were talking about before we came on, as it pertains to basketball, with LeBron, with J.R. Smith going to Cleveland, you know, I'm under the assumption, and tell me if I'm wrong, that LeBron gets to choose a little bit. He gets some sort of say in all that because, besides the fact that he is, a superstar and the best in the world, one of the best in the world, he can leave after this year if he wants to.
Is that LeBron, Kobe, or those the two that get a say?
I mean, there's a few.
Why not Kevin? That's good. That's my question.
Yeah.
Why? I am under the assumption that Kevin probably does get to talk. Do you get a say and stuff like this? Do you?
I don't know if he gets a say. I'm sure they consult with him a little bit, but I don't know if he goes, hey, listen, hey, Kevin, we want to do this deal, and he goes, nah, I don't like the deal, and they don't do it. I think they probably say, Sam goes to him and possibly Russell and say, look, we feel like we can get better at this position. These are the options that we have. We're going to make a move for X player. Just wanted to let you know. Guys like LeBron and Kobe, especially Kobe. Kobe, if Kobe don't like you, if he doesn't like you on his team, he can get you traded or cut. And he's just the type of guy. Ray Allen was one of those guys that wanted to be involved, like, overly player involved. LeBron James, I'm sure, is a little bit the same way. But most guys, it's a courtesy of letting you know. Some guys just say, nah, I don't want that player. Yeah, bring this player in. I think Melo was like that in Denver. About bringing guys in, Kenyon Martin and so on and so forth. And then same thing when he went to New York. It's funny how all those Denver guys came to New York. I think Melo has a little bit of a say like that as well, and he dictates a little bit. So
Well, I just wonder, because I know one of the things we all, demeanor wise, we don't assume, and you know him better than us. We don't assume that Kevin Durant is that type of guy from a demeanor standpoint that'll go, yeah, I'll take him, and no, I won't take him. But as is the case with LeBron, time's ticking on the current contract.
yeah,
And management might want to keep that player happy, and this might be a way for Sam Presti to, make sure he's kind of, if you'll excuse the analogy, pet the head of Kevin a little bit and go, here, like, we're thinking about that. What do you think? You know what I mean?
Let me ask this:
Well,
if if Kevin goes to Washington, will they do that? Will they call him in, or is it still just a guy's got to want to be called in on stuff like that?
I think too, it's not just the guy; it's the organization and how they function. I just don't think Sam functions that way. I think Sam feels like what he does, and Sam has done a great job. And Sam is, he does his due diligence. He makes sure dots his I's and crosses his T's on everything, any move that he makes. And so, but some organizations, they do that. They kind of put their arm around you and tell you the guy, and they want to tell you everything. And, hey, we just want you involved, and, to let you know that, we want to help you build this team, blah, blah. They tell you all these things, and you feel good about it, and, yeah, you stick around. But, some organizations, they're not just like that, so players dictate a little bit. I don't think the L.A. Lakers were like that. I don't think Jerry Buss was like that. He had Hall of Fame guys, top 100 guys to come through that organization. So are we going to go and, rub on Kobe a little bit? No, Kobe's like that dictating guy that says, you need to tell me what's going on. So some guys are built different. Some organizations are built different.
Desmond Mason with us in studio here on 107.7 The Franchise, as he is on Tuesdays and Thursdays here in studio. Let's talk a little bit about the game last night, which was just a clunker. Why do you think it was such a clunker, or is this just one of those things? Like, do you know?
They're just really good. I mean, they're good on defense. And as we were talking, with David and Rhodey on the pregame last night, is, they're not good individually from a defensive standpoint, but they're really good as a team. They help each other, and that's, you learn that. Ron Adams is now that defensive guru that they have, and he's built that way. It's about help defense, and so they're a really good help side defensive team. They close down the lane really quickly. They make you shoot a tough shot. They contest every shot, and once you miss, they're gone. And Oklahoma City didn't play their best basketball, but you have to give Golden State some credit. They played really good defense. They made shots tough for those guys. They crowded. And then once they got out in transition and they got warm, they're a hard team to guard when they get to run it playing the way that they play. And you cannot play their game. You got to find a way to slow them down. You can't chunk up shots and expect to get back.
Do you like the Warriors as a potential playoff matchup for the Thunder? Is that a good matchup?
No, not with Oklahoma City, no. No, not right now.
I wouldn't think so either.
Not looking at the series so far. I mean, it's just not. They hadn't found a way to slow them down. I think Memphis can slow them down. I think San Antonio can slow them down. Phoenix, a team like a Phoenix, they're going to try to play with them.
Right.
They're going to try to run.
It'll be in the 120s.
Dallas will try that as well, but San Antonio and Memphis, they're going to slow them down. And if you slow them down, they can't really score in a half court. They need things to happen really quickly in transition. They shoot early in the shot clock. If you can make them get down to the back end of the shot clock, I think it gets tough for them to score.
Why can't Oklahoma City do that?
Well, I think the shots that they settle for, which is a lot of jump shots, which is almost instant transition. If you can get the ball in the paint, get it up on the rim where it's bouncing on the rim a couple of times and a couple of bodies are going at it, then it slows down the game. When you jack up a jumper and you get a long rebound, all the defensive off balance, and before you know it, those guys in transition. And none of them go to the boards. They got a couple of guys that rebound the ball pretty well, but they got two guys that are gone. Like when that shot goes up, they got two guys running back. So if you're not sending defense back with those guys, then, you got an issue. And Russell is always driving into the paint. So he's the point guard, and he's always in the paint. So there's nobody rotating to the top like Thabo used to do to get back on defense.
Whew, that was good. Look at you.
I kind of rattled for a little bit.
No, that was good. That was a good 30 seconds of scouting report there. I got this text, by the way, on Dion Waiters from an NBA scout. All right, so here is this is from an NBA scout in the league. His scouting report of Dion Waiters. You tell me what you think about any of this, if you have any reaction to it at all. Shooting guard with some limited playmaking abilities with the ball. Likes contact and can draw fouls. Quick to jack a bad shot. Definitely DEF. So definitely has a quick trigger. Very confident in his ability to score. Defensively, better than you think. Strong and decent quicks. But will lapse when he pouts about touches or minutes or just lose focus off ball at times. I flagged him. This is the scout talking. I flagged him background-wise because he has always been known to be a pain in the ass in the locker room. Will treat staff like bleep, but quiet, more of a surly temperament. Won't do anything to make team look bad in the community, all internal stuff. He's a very talented scorer when he gets going, though, and above-average defender. Will be interesting to see how he gets along with everyone. He should help your second unit spread the floor.
Scouting reports are scouting reports, and scouts are scouts, and they look at games, consistent. But again, you don't know that if you're a scout, you don't know the dynamic of what's going on. And we talked about this as well. Like, you don't know what guys are dealing with and why they play bad, why they play well. He's still young. Dion Waiters is still young in his career.
Sure.
But one, if he gets it going, he's a very talented scorer. That's just not going to happen. Not on this team. He is here to stand out behind the three-point line, catch it when Kevin and Russell get doubled or draw attention, shoot it, put it on the floor a couple times, shoot it. He's not going to get the James Harden pick and roll at the top of the key. They're not going to run any plays for him. He is strictly a spread the floor guy. So a bunch of dribbling for him won't happen. You see how that works out with Reggie. Nobody likes it. Frustrates everybody. Just give the ball to Kevin and Russell. Stand still until you get your shot. And so, and defensively, I've seen him play, and he's one of those guys. He has good hands, but if you face him up and you just attack him immediately, he doesn't have good feet. But he has good hands, though. So if you start playing with the ball around him, he can take the ball from you. From an attitude standpoint, it's not going to fly here. He'll be gone real fast. He's got to keep his
That's
attitude in check.
That's going to be what's interesting to me.
Yeah, that's just not the culture in Oklahoma City with this team. And if you come in with an attitude, and there's only one guy that can have an attitude, and it's almost a facade, and that's Kendrick. He's not a bad guy. It's just.
Well, Russ can have one, I guess.
Well, Russ is just different, and Russ is one of the best players on the planet. So
exactly,
he can get away with it.
If you're one of the best on the planet, then you can get away with that stuff.
And he has his own clothing line. It's all good.
All right, so we've got all. Did you have something, Todd?
Yeah, I just want to ask a quick question. Scott Brooks said post game last night about the Thunder, we're a defensive team. I mean, I don't feel that way about am I wrong to not feel that way about Oklahoma City? How do you feel Oklahoma City is as a defensive unit?
I think they were a defensive team.
With Thabo here?
With Thabo, with Nick Collison getting consistent minutes. I think Kendrick did a really good job of coming back healthy and, moving around better and so on and so forth, and having him in the paint, but he has to be in the paint being Kendrick, not being this guy that now we're seeing all of a sudden wanting the ball in the post and scoring. What happened to the dude that was, getting flagrants and fouling the crap out of people and nobody wanted to go to the basket even near him. Serge, the same thing. He's on the perimeter. He's so perimeter oriented. And again, teams are getting smaller, so they're stretching him. You got Green, who had Serge out on the perimeter, pump faking him and driving past him, keeping him away from the basket. So that kind of minimizes his block opportunities. But Serge, he's got to get more to blocking shots and being the enforcer in the paint as well. And the perimeter guys, again, without Thabo, but the perimeter guys, they have to take onus on their job, and that's to keep guys in front of him. Don't give up straight line drives.
Yeah, I just see a lot of blow-bys.
That's the problem.
A lot of times.
It gets everybody behind him in trouble. It puts too much pressure on everybody else when you let guys just straight line drive to the basket. So in saying that, if those things can get fixed, then that'd be a good defensive team. But right now, that's not the issue.
Turns into Lob City a lot.
I guess I've just never thought of the Thunder as a good defensive team, and I'm not saying they've been bad, but I've never thought that was their strong suit. What you're saying is in the past, though, they were a lot better than they've been this year.
They were. I mean, they were. They were in the top tier of team defense. Obviously Thabo was, one of the best, on-ball defenders we had. Serge is one of the best on-ball and weak ball shot blockers. You got Kendrick Perkins, who was taking up a lot of paint.
He's a great pick-and-roll defender, too.
Yeah,
Kendrick Perkins is
one of the best in the league. And then some of those guards were, taking a little bit more pride in controlling the perimeter. Even like when Eric Maynard was here. I mean, he wasn't the quickest guy, but I'm telling you, man, he could play some defense. He can keep guys in front of him. And so that's not the case now. It seems to be they're gearing themselves to be more of an offensive threat. Mm-hmm. Look at the trades. Look at the people that are coming in.
Right.
You're all basically spacers.
Oh yeah, you basically and to be honest with you, I'm all. There's a part of me that's all right with that. Like last year in the playoffs, all I kept on looking at when they were playing Memphis was all of Memphis's players on defense. All of them had a foot in the paint. Yeah. All five of them had a foot in the paint. Like, shoot it, go ahead. And it turned into a 7-game series because of it. But a lot of that was because they didn't have the shooters. The Oklahoma City didn't have the shooter. I mean, obviously they had, Kevin and Russ, but other than that, hey, go ahead, shoot it.
Well, sometimes it's strategy too. When you got the team, you got the makeup of your team, the ability of your team. Like for instance, if Oklahoma City is not a good defensive team, let's not say they're a good defensive team. Just fix the strategy of how you approach the game.
Right.
Don't pretend you're good on
Play
defense.
To your strengths.
Yeah. If you know that, sag off, keep everybody close to the paint, don't give up layups, make guys show up top. When you're playing Golden State, Steph Curry comes off the pick and roll, just trap him, make him give it up. Because if you try to do the whole hedge like we're really good at defense, hedge and we can get back because we're that good,
you're done.
He's gone.
You're done. And that's what teams like Golden State do. They want you to shoot outside shots because outside shots equals long rebounds equals transition.
Absolutely.
And that, to me, that's what Oklahoma City should be doing a little more of instead of getting blown by a lot.
Yeah, but you can't go underneath a screen on Steph Curry.
Oh, no, I understand that. There are exceptions to that rule. Yeah. But, you still want outside shots to be taken. You want a hand in the face, though.
Well, you look at the percentages in the league. How many really good shooting teams are in the NBA? 2, maybe 3, max. So if you're going to present it that way, how many teams should you be playing off on and controlling the paint? Pretty simple. Most teams drive the ball. There's no more mid-range shooters. Those guys are dinosaurs. There's some good,
Kobe's the last one.
Yeah, right. And there's some good post guys that can play in the post, but you can double them and make them give the ball up. There's mostly guards that try to post up and slashers, and then you got a handful of guys that can shoot the 3-ball.
Yeah, it's just athletes and 3-point shooters.
I'm closing the paint down. shoot over the top, because a layup is about a 60 or 70% contest layup for the most part. Most guys on the average across the board in the league are shooting just across the board, are shooting about 34, 35%. I'll take that percent.
Desmond Mason with us. We have got art and basketball all next with Des on the
Basketball
franchise.
is art. Come on,
That's
Zach.
right.
Yeah.
Now back to Zach McCrite and Todd Lisenbee on Oklahoma's new sound for sports, 107.7 The Franchise.
Todd doesn't like the imaging. He feels the names are in the wrong order.
Listen, your parents put that evil on you by naming you a Z name. You go alphabetical.
That is true. I was
Todd and Zach.
I was always the last to eat at school. Always. And that sucks.
By
For
the
a guy
looks,
who is addicted to food.
I've seen pictures of you before you got
it.
here. It looked like you were the first and the last to eat.
Well, I did.
Back in the day.
I was, they let you go back for seconds and stuff. I would be able to get back for seconds before anybody else in
You
front
go,
of me
no,
did.
I'm Zeke. Zach already went through that. I'm Zeke McCrite.
That's right.
His twin.
That's
His
right.
twin.
That's right. No, my first name would be Aaron with 2 A's. Like, no, I'm Aaron and Zach. My first name's Aaron. My middle name is Zach. Desmond Mason with us he's in studio, and he just we always like to go off the beaten path. Look, I could talk Thunder forever, and so could Desmond, but there's more to this onion, as we like to say. There's more to this
Layers.
onion. There's layers. We're peeling back layers as we go, so people that are used to our show know that when we get Des in here, we talk everything. We talk basketball, Thunder, everything.
And you just hope you don't get interrupted.
Todd is an international superstar. He's well-versed in Italian cuisine, Asian-made vehicles, and European soccer. Excuse me, football. But management frowns upon Todd's soccer talk. Screw it. Let's sneak in some real quick. Here's 10 seconds of soccer with Todd Lisenbee. Starting now.
The FA Cup fourth-round draw saw non-league Cambridge United drawn against the Red Devils of Manchester United. Big day for non-league side Cambridge. Also breaking news, Manchester City going to sign Wilfred Boney.
And that was 10 seconds of soccer.
That was like 10 and a half. That was like 10 and a half. We have 10 seconds of soccer here.
So good.
He just interrupts us sometimes. It's not very kind of him.
I was okay with that.
You all right with that?
Yeah.
All right. And we're going to do top four. Desmond has done a top four with us as well. We're going to do another top four today. So we're going to go ahead and tell you right now what it is so we can get your texts and stuff at 88474. Type in the word text and a space, then your answer to this. By the way, you can also tweet at Big Easy, at Todd on Franchise, at D Mason Art. Top four Ducks in honor of the Oregon Ducks playing in the national championship
And
game,
they're
college
gray and
football
white
national championship.
uniforms.
Yeah, Todd's got a problem with that. They're green and
Their
gold.
school colors are green and yellow,
That's
and they're
true.
wearing
I'm
gray
with-
and white.
I'm with that too.
Thank you very much.
It's not that big a deal, Des. Come on, don't
I think it's
patronize
kinda,
him.
I think it's weird.
And
What if the Thunder wore black jerseys?
they wear navy blue
Well, I mean, but blue is blue.
in the alternate uniform? They wear the navy
What if
blue.
OSU was like, we're going to wear our green and
Well,
yellow
wait a minute,
uniforms?
they have shades of white in everything. So why not wear white and black? Who cares? That's kind of a shade of what they've got. White and black goes with everything. You
I think
guys
it's
know
a
this.
disrespect to your
So
school.
if OSU wore gray and white and no orange and black, people wouldn't be upset about it if
Say
they were
again?
playing in
If
the
what?
If OSU was in the national championship game for football
Well,
and they wore gray and white and no orange and black, people wouldn't be upset.
that's not their image, though. That's not their image. This is Oregon's image.
That's kind of my
This
point.
is
The
them.
image is silly.
Phil Knight is Oregon.
That's
Phil
right.
Knight chose those.
Agreed.
It's like a new
Agreed.
Nike thing.
Hey, that image.
The worst part is, like I said, Ohio State wears gray. That's one of their main colors, and Oregon's going to wear it too.
That's all right.
I'm not going to know who's who.
I got zero problem with it.
Oregon will be the shiny gray.
So we're gonna do top four Ducks today. Top four Ducks, and if you're not unfamiliar with the top four, this can be Ducks of any kind. It can be they used to be a Duck in terms of the mascot of their school. Maybe they played for Oregon back in the day. Maybe they have a nickname that's a Duck, that has Duck in it. Maybe it's a cartoon character. So everything's on the table. And we told Desmond during the break that this is what we were going to do, and he's like, I already got something. All right, cool. So we're going to do that in the next segment. All right, so tell us about what happened here in Mexico. Des is sending texts. He's like, I got some stories. I got some stories.
It was fun. It was more about the art show. I had my art exhibition there, and it was to raise money for the relief fund for the hurricane that just destroyed so much of Cabo San Lucas. When
was that?
What?
The hurricane.
Kidding me?
No.
It was a big one.
When?
Really big one. It was I think maybe 90 days ago. Yeah. Kidding me? You didn't hear about it?
I did not hear about it.
Pretty much destroyed Cabo San Lucas.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of the hotels and a lot of homes were lost. New airport was completely destroyed. It's been about 90 plus days ago.
Zach, I don't know if you knew this or not, but we've actually put a man on the moon. Believe it or not.
You're kidding.
No,
when
seriously.
did this happen?
And Lance Armstrong is not racing anymore. Did you hear that?
He's not racing anymore.
No, he's not.
Wait a minute.
But no, it was
When did the Thunder come to Oklahoma City?
And who are the Thunder?
Who is this Rumble character? No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I did not know, and now I feel ashamed. I'm full of shame.
A huge hurricane that hit Cabo.
How's it look now? That was like 3 months ago.
Yeah, I mean they've done a great job of getting it back up and running. So our property that we live, we've had a house there for 9 years almost, and we went back and decided we're going to do something to try to help. And so I put together this art exhibition. A lot of business people and had some celebs come out and participate and help, and we did well. But one of the highlights is I painted live, and I don't do it very often. It's the first time I've ever painted live out of the country, and so. A friend of mine, Kelly James, who's a really good musician, he flew in, he played while I painted, and then once it was done and all the people that were there attending the event, we had a live auction right after it was done, and Joe Buck is a friend. He facilitated the live auction, and so it was it was a big time show. We raised a lot of money for a cause, and had a good time.
That makes us feel honored because he does live work with us.
I was going to say, we got live work. So the only two places really that he does it is Cabo and here.
Cabo and here in the studio.
That's right, Cabo and here in the in the cave. That is awesome. Well, very good, very good. Do more name dropping. More name dropping.
Well, Adam Levine was there, so it was cool to just meet and have a chance to chat with him. Haney showed up right. Hank Haney showed up right as we were getting ready to go home, but. He's helped me in my golf game a little bit, but he's a really good guy. One of the nicest people I ever met in my life.
You want to know something real quick about Hank Haney? You sent a picture out on Instagram. This has been about a year ago now, I'm assuming, maybe less than that. Where I think it's him giving you a lesson, or you're hitting a ball and somebody took a picture of you, but you put in the caption that. Hank said, hit to the opposite field or hit the right field.
Yeah, he said, swing to right field.
Swing to right field. And I'm telling you, that changed my game. That Instagram pic, the Hank Haney tip, totally changed my game.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, you've seen my game since. It's still not very good.
Yeah, your game must have been terrible.
It was really bad.
Before that, Hank Haney.
That's right. It used to be really bad. Like, I'd be way in the hundreds. At least now I can hit like 90, But, no, seriously, I would just have this huge slice on the ball.
Hit 90 if you're keeping score. You can hit 90. Other than that, you're still in the hundreds.
No, upper 90s. Upper 90s. I mean, if we're being real.
Upper 90s as in 105. Yeah.
Is that what it was one day?
Yeah.
Maybe it was. Anyway, continue.
Swing right field, always.
Golf is the only athletic endeavor I can beat most people at the station at.
Maybe I'm not swinging far enough to right field.
Yeah,
me neither.
You should swing for the stand, swing for the dugout.
He totally got mad at me. And probably one of the highlights of the exhibition is Cindy Crawford King.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. Really? Yeah. So they
very cool. Now,
cool people, man.
Now, are you comfortable telling the people how much you raised?
We raised close to $300,000.
Look at you. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's a very cool feeling.
We did it for all the right reasons, and it worked out.
Does that not usually happen yearly for you at this time? Like, or did you just put this together just solely for this?
I normally do a show annually, but I normally do it here. And the last time I had a show in Cabo, one of the workers at our facility got paralyzed. And so I did a show for him because he had a 6-year-old daughter and his wife, and he was basically paralyzed from the neck down. And so I did a show, and we raised, close to the same amount of money for him to help redo his house and make it handicap accessible. And so this year, I decided to just kind of forego my show here in Oklahoma and move it to Cabo because that community has just done so much for our family and us going and being able to get away and our kids since before my son was born and our daughter now. And so, it's just what we can do to help. I'm all about that.
Proud of you, man. That's
Thank
awesome. Very
I'm
cool.
all about you helping people, but tell me more about Cindy Crawford. She still got it?
She's a really pretty lady, yeah. Her husband, Randy, is really, really cool.
That's his way of saying hell yeah.
I had a lot of the young
she's
boy
nice.
moments with the Cindy Crawford Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. No, I'm not talking about puberty age boy. I'm talking about like the 7-year-old kid and you sneak it in and take it to class.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about
Yeah. I
I thought you were talking about like last week.
No.
Exactly.
No.
No?
Cindy Crawford was
You've
my
moved on?
first, as a kid, my first celebrity crush.
Yeah.
Cindy
Really?
Crawford and Kathy Ireland, those two.
Wow, that's just pulling them out of there, bringing them out of the woodwork.
That's right.
No kidding.
Well, they were in that same Sports Illustrated
yeah.
swimsuit edition where I first realized the beauty of a woman.
So good.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
I don't know what we're doing. Anyway, Desmond Mason said, all right, we're going to do top 4 ducks. Top 4 ducks. At Big Easy, at Todd on Franchise, at D Mason Art. We'll do top 4 ducks. And we're going to do it while Dez is painting his canvas. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this, last time Dez came in, we started this. I bought a canvas. I don't know. It's like 3 feet tall. And Dez is he's gonna add to it every time he comes in here. He's gonna just keep adding to it. So it'll probably have layers upon layers of stuff on it before it's all said and done. But it will be. I don't know what we'll do. I'll probably just put it in my house. I'm gonna steal it, and you're gonna give it to me for free, and I'm just probably put it in my house. Or if we're really nice and Dez agrees, maybe we'll give it away or sell it at an auction or something. But we're gonna do something with it. But anyway, we're gonna keep adding to it, and I'm going to keep posting a picture each time he adds to it, and we'll try to stitch them together. We'll put it on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, so you can kind of see the progress of the picture for all of our listeners. But in the meantime, he's going to be doing that while he's giving us top 4 ducks from back in our little paint studio here in the corner. At Big Easy, at Todd on Franchise, at D Mason Art. And you can also text us 88474. Type in the word text first and then a space and then your top 4 ducks. We do that all next.
Now back to Zach McCrite and Todd Lisenbee on Oklahoma's new sound for sports, 107.7 The Franchise.
Bob Stoops' press conference is going to be live here. We're always going to spend time talking about firings. Firings are always good chatter. And that's what Bob Stoops will be doing. Let's bring your mic out and just bring it over here. And you don't have to just reach over or anything. It's kind of fun whenever we hear you from afar. It's like you're doing something more important, so that's good. But Desmond Mason,
Which he is, oddly enough.
Yes, he is. So Desmond Mason's back in the corner. If you're unfamiliar with how we do the top 4, we want you to be very creative in our category. That's the first thing. And then number 2, we always, at least for the first couple times we do this, we always need to set up our open. Because our open, we just got this guy off YouTube. We were searching top 4. And this guy was doing his own college football top 4 analysis. And he decided one day he was going to do the top 25, and then he couldn't find it on his computer. And it was a brand new webcam and all this stuff. He was really excited. He couldn't find the top 25. You'll get it all here. But anyway, his name is Antoine D9. We love Antoine D9. So you'll hear all that. Desmond is getting started on his artwork. Fire up the intro.
Hey, what's poppin', motherfuckers?
Between the college football playoff,
This your boy Antoine D9 coming back to y'all.
bracketology,
So I'm gonna tell y'all what's the top 4.
or just those silly power rankings,
Well, how about this? Let's see.
we're always ranking something.
I'm gonna do the top 25.
But we haven't ranked this.
All right. If it'll tell me here. All right, here we go. Well, Well, anyway, forget doing that. I'm going to give you the top 4.
It's time for a brand new and likely terrible top 4 list on 107.7 The Franchise.
Top 4 Ducks. Oregon making the national championship. So today it's top 4 Ducks. Todd, you going first? I see you making some last-minute adjustments. By the way, we will read yours as well on the text line, 88474, and on Twitter, at Big Easy, at Todd on Franchise, at D Mason Art. You want to go?
I'll go first.
All right, what do you got?
Just missing the list,
you
Kevin Duckworth.
You got honorable mentions, huh? Okay, very good.
Kevin Duckworth just missed the list. That perked Desmond Mason's ears up a little bit. Kevin Duckworth, I remember.
Stole it from me.
The basketball looked like an aspirin in his hand. He used to hold it.
Yeah. He'd palm it out.
Yep. It wasn't very good on Bulls versus Blazers on the Sega Genesis, but he was a good player in real life. Just missed the list. I'm going with a tie for 4th place.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
Well, you'll see why. It's a 3-way tie. I'm going Huey, Louie, and Dewey in 4th place.
So good.
You can't separate those 3. You got to go tie for 4th, right?
Well,
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Now, what was their relation to Donald?
I
Were
don't
they just
know.
kids?
Uncle Donald.
Uncle Donald, I think.
Okay, so it was his nephews.
They were in DuckTales, though, which was...
Who was their dad?
What's that?
Who's their dad?
I don't know.
Do we have a dad? They were without a father.
They were.
Poor ducks. Okay.
They were children of divorce, I believe.
Pot Desmond's mic up since he's off mic a little bit.
I don't want to get echo from you.
That's all right. I'll stay away. Go ahead.
All right, so Huey, Louie, and Dewey tied for number 4. Number 3, the Aflac Duck.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
Number
you
3.
You might have to turn him down a little bit. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, see?
You're going to have to keep turning him down.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Number 2, everyone that is my age remembers when they got that first Nintendo. And one of the first games
Duck Hunt
was Duck Hunt.
Oh, man, you came up with so much more of a better
Duck
list than
Hunt
I
is
did.
number 2 on my list. And number 1, the greatest duck of all time. I mean, he led them to that win over Iceland. It's got to be Gordon Bombay in the Mighty Ducks.
Yep.
So those are my top 4 ducks. Huey, Louie, and Dewey tied for 4th. The Aflac Duck, number 3. Duck Hunt, number 2. And Gordon Bombay is number 1.
All right, Mace, it's your turn. Who you got in your top 4? Look at he typed them all on his phone.
I got all organized.
I know you are.
If
very
Desmond
organized.
gets his phone out, he'd be like number 4, Adam Levine. Number 3,
Cindy Crawford.
Cindy Crawford.
That's right.
All right. So
Number
I
2,
got,
Hank Haney.
I got number 4 is Duckhorn Cabernet. It's one of my favorite wines.
Is that right?
That's number
Look at
4.
you. Now you want to talk about hipster. He always makes fun of me because I'm hipster. Now that's hipster.
Is it? That's not.
Is it good wine?
It is very good wine.
It's hipster wine.
right,
I don't
here we
really
go.
know. I'm just going
You got to bring in some because we don't believe you.
Number 3, I got Daffy Duck.
Yep, Daffy's a good one. Daffy's a good one.
Daffy
obviously.
greater than or less than Donald?
Well,
think
wait
it's
until
great.
I give my 4, and then we'll find out.
Daisy underrated as well.
So number 2, I have. Well, you guys may know this, but the Ducks at the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. I don't know if you guys ever seen them. They fly in, they come down into the pond. They walk themselves on the elevator to the top of the
Get
hotel.
out of here.
Look it up. Look it up.
Real ducks?
Real Ducks. The Peabody Hotel in Memphis.
They are trained?
They are trained to come into the hotel. They walk into the elevator and they go up to the top and they let them out and they fly away. And they do it every single day.
That is amazing.
That's pretty cool.
How is that not your number 1?
That's pretty cool. Because Emilio Estevez is number 1. The Mighty Ducks.
Gordon Bombay, that's right.
We all have the same number 1. I too have Gordon Bombay / Emilio Estevez is my number 1.
Thought about going with Julie Gaffney because she was smoking hot in that movie. Now, she's not smoking hot in that movie anymore because she's like 13 in that movie. But let's remember, I was 13 when that movie came out. People.
Yeah, that does not excuse you.
That was so weird.
All right, my number 4. I'm ashamed of my list now. You two had way better lists than I did. Number 4, Kevin Duckworth.
Yep.
You stole mine, Todd. Kevin Duckworth.
I thought everyone would forget about Kevin Duckworth.
I grew up with Kevin Duckworth.
I had him too.
That was my guy, man. Portland Trailblazers. When I was like 10, 11 years old, it was,
Can you name the starting 5 on that?
Oh, God.
NBA Finals team.
Terry Porter, Clyde Drexler, Kevin Duckworth.
Kersey.
That's right. Was he the one with the beard? There was a bearded man that I'm thinking of that I'm blanking on the name.
I don't know who the other one was.
Was Stacey Augmon on those teams too?
Yeah, he was.
Or he was with the Hawks, wasn't he?
I thought that was after.
Rick
I don't know.
Rick Adelman was your coach.
I'll have to look it up, but I do remember the old Bulls versus Blazers game on the Sega Genesis. We all three played that, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. All right, so that's my number 4. Number 3, I went with the standard Donald. You all tried to get too creative. All right, Donald is the best. Let's just leave it at that. Daffy's okay, but Donald's got it going on. All right, Donald got Daisy. I don't know if none of your ducks had a girlfriend like that.
He paid for Daisy.
Number 2.
With all that DuckTales money.
That's right. That's true.
Scrooge hooked him up. Yeah. That was an arranged marriage.
So bad.
Number 2. I love Des in the background going, that's so bad. It was a bad marriage. Between ducks. This is why I love this segment. Got Des Payton going, a bad marriage between 2 ducks. Bad marriage. Number 2, Dan Fouts, the former Oregon Duck quarterback.
Ahmad Rashad almost made my list.
He almost made mine too, actually. But Dan Fouts makes it. I think he is, up until Marcus Mariota, or maybe including Marcus Mariota, best quarterback of all time come through Oregon?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Joey Harrington.
Oh, come on.
Kidding me?
It is like the peanut gallery.
Got a comment from the gallery back there. We do need, you know what we need? We need an intern for this show just to be in the back and make comments. Totally off mic, because it sounds hilarious whenever Desmond's back in the background going, it's terrible, terrible. Number 1, Gordon Bombay. Number 1, Gordon Bombay. So let's go through our 4 again real quick. Mine, 4, Kevin Duckworth, 3, Donald Duck, 2, Dan Fouts, 1, Gordon Bombay. Todd?
Number 4, Huey, Dewey, and Louie in a tie. Number 3, the Aflac Duck. Number 2, Duck Hunt. Number 1, Gordon Bombay.
Duck Hunt's great. Number 4 for you, 4 through 1, Desmond?
Duckhorn, Cab. I had Daffy Duck, the Ducks at the Peabody Hotel, and Senor Emilio Estevez.
Our 5th starter that we couldn't remember from Portland, Buck Williams.
Buck Williams. That's the guy.
The 5th starter.
That's the bearded guy I was talking about.
Clifford Robertson came off the bench.
Oh, Clifford Robinson.
Danny Ainge, Robert Pack also came off the bench. And who can forget Allah Abdel Nabi?
Oh, of course. Allah. From the best name to ever come out of Duke. Allah Abdel Nabi. All right. I think that's all we got. Have we done everything? Is there anything? Oh, we got to do text. Let's do some text real quick. Bob Stoops, by the way, coming up top of the hour. Let's see. Anything other good? Marcus Mariota. How did he not make your list? One guy on Twitter says.
Darkwing Duck. I got that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Turducken. How did Turducken not make the list?
Turducken. That's great. Are you familiar with Turducken?
I've heard of it. That is gross.
That is.
Have you ever had Turducken?
I have not had.
Turkey, duck, and chicken.
We're going to have Turducken with whatever kind of wine that is. Duckhorn Cabernet.
That's right. There you go. Howard the Duck. A lot of people saying Howard the Duck. Paul Correa, the former hockey player for the Anaheim Ducks.
Sean says Chuck Berry for inventing the duck walk.
Ooh.
Nice.
Not bad. Let's see.
Steve Prefontaine.
A lot of people putting in hockey players.
Chandler and Joey's pet duck on Friends.
What was the name of that duck? I
don't remember.
Duck. Timu Solani. People are saying Rob Niedermeyer. A bunch of the Aflac duck for sure. A lot of people are doing those. Let's see. So not bad.
Someone just said rubber duck.
Scrooge McDuck. Oh, the rubber duck, of course.
Of course. Rubber ducky, you're the one.
I think that's a good way to end this segment.
You make my bath time lots of fun.
How did you not make you? It is horrible. Listen to him. It's horrible. You should have put Huey at number 4, Dewey at number 3, and Louie at number 2. That would have been funny. But
no, it's a tie. You can't. It's like saying who's your favorite child. Literally, who's your favorite child? You can't say.
Some people.
Let's put Desmond on the. Look at some people would. Well, we can put Desmond on the hot seat. Top 2 children, go. Number 2.
My personal
Yeah.
kids. Number 2 is my son Elijah, because he was born second.
Oh, so you're doing it by age? No, you can't. Come on, man.
Why not?
That's a bad way to go out.
It's a good way to go.
Totally taking out all the opinions, stripping the opinion away.
I'm sure when Desmond came in today.
Mine.
I'm sure when Desmond came in today, he was sure you were going to ask him which one of his kids was his favorite. I'm sure he expected that.
You never know. We might be able to
I love them equally.
I know. All right, good stuff. You're done. No more painting.
No more painting.
You're done.
Gotta stop.
That looks totally different. That is so awesome. We're going to tweet out a picture of what he has finished up on the canvas today. We'll keep tweeting out different and Instagramming different pictures and stuff and doing all that. Des, thanks for coming in as
Absolutely,
always, man.
Good
Always
stuff.
appreciate it.